us now learn some of the important terms which are related to the coordination compound. And the first term is the coordination entity, right? And coordination entity is that which constitutes the central metal ion or atom bonded to some fixed number of ions or molecules. Now first question is that what is central atom, right? Whenever you are looking for coordination compound, one thing is very clear that you will definitely find these big bracket, large brackets, right? These are called the coordination sphere, right? These brackets are called the coordination sphere. I am again repeating that these brackets are not called the brackets, these are called the coordination sphere, right? First you should know the reason, because inside this bracket we have coordinate bonding, we have separated them with a bracket, right? And outside this bracket, either on this side or on this side, whatever you have, that is ionizable, right? And such parts are known as ionization spheres. I hope it's very easy, right? This is called the central metal atom, right? This is, which is iron, and in this case cobalt, is called the central metal atom. What is central metal atom? A central metal atom is that which is bonded to many ligands or many entities, many species, right? That is called the central metal atom. So up to now I think we have clear about these three things: coordination sphere, which are inside the bracket, and outside the bracket we call it ionization sphere. Then coordination entity, this complete picture is called the coordination entity, right? This is coordination entity. Coordination entity means coordination compound. All right. Now what is coordination number? Coordination number is the number of coordinate bond. Let me write it: number of coordinate bonds, right? Coordinate bonds. So keep in mind that in your NCERT book, right, in NCERT book, the coordination number is defined as the number of ligands or donor atoms to which the metal is directly bonded, right? And this definition is also correct if you focus on this word, donor atoms, right? Focus on this word, it is donor atoms, right? So that means if you find that there are 5 ammonia, right, and all the 5 nitrogen have donated the lone pair to cobalt, that means here are 5 donors, here is 1 donor, so we have 6 coordination number, and here is also 6 coordination number. So do not go and look at this number and say that it is 6 coordination number, right? Similarly, do not look at this 5 and say that it is 5 coordination number. Now for example, we have this compound iron, and this is oxalate, right? Oxalic acid gives the anion oxalate, and I am writing here 3, right? 3, and here is -3, right? And if we ask what is the coordination number, then do not say the coordination number 3. This is what I want to say. Now why I am against this? Because here is very thin difference, and the difference is this one, right? Suppose you have this ion as, right, coordinate ion, and now this ion is bonded to iron by this bond, right? This oxygen donate the lone pairs, and this oxygen also donate the lone pair to iron, right? So that means each oxalate ion has 2 coordinate bond. Then how many coordinate bond will be with 3? It will be 6. So the coordination number will be 6, right? That is why in NCERT it is written that it is the number of donor atoms, right? Donor atoms If you have counted the donor atom, that means you know the coordination number, right? So coordination number is not the number of species, it is the number of donor atoms. I think it is very clear to everyone. And oxidation number, right? So oxidation number is very simple, and everyone I think knows that what is oxidation number. It is the number of real charges or charges which are appear for an atom is called the oxidation number, right? So this is oxidation number studied in +1. Now let us go for homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. What are homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes, right? Before going for this, let us go for ligands. Now here is a word that I would like to define to you, and the word is that this is cyanide, and earlier we called this a cyanide ion, ammonia molecule, chloride ion. Now whatever species you will find inside the coordination sphere, those species will be called as ligands, right? So this chlorine will be called as ligand, while this chloride will not be called as ligand, right? So this is called ligand, right? Ligand. And if all the ligands are same, then the complex is called homoleptic, and if they are not same, then it is called the heteroleptic, right? And let us now talk about ligands, right? So ligands, here we have types of ligands, right? Ligands are the similarly single atom or ion or maybe complex ion which gets bonded to the central atom, right? And here is the example of ligand. You can say it may be an ion, a complex molecule, right? Complex anion, right? Such a species which gets bonded to the central atom through coordinate bond are known as ligands, right? So ligands are of many categories, and first we are going to learn the denticity of ligands. So denticity stands for the donating capacity, right? For example, we have ammonia, and ammonia has one lone pair. Similarly, we have water, and water has two lone pair on oxygen. Now, since ammonia can donate only one lone pair and water can also donate only one lone pair, so these are called the monodonors, or we call the denticity of ammonia is single, and we can call ammonia as monodentate ligand. Water is also monodentate ligand, right? And now for didentates. Now let us have this molecule, we call it CH2, right? And here I am going to combine amine group. Here is also amine group, and there you can see the lone pairs, right? Focus on lone pairs, please. And now this is completely just single molecule, right? This whole will be a single molecule, right? And now in this single molecule, how many lone pairs can be donated? We have two lone pairs, all right? So such molecules are called didentate molecules, which have capacity of making two coordinate bond. And here is the model for this. Here you can see that this is a group, the CH2 group, right? It is CH2, and this one also CH2, and you can look at the other hydrogens, right? CH2 group. And then NH2 group, we have this group as NH2 group, right? This is NH2 group, and we also have one more NH2 group. And you can also see in this camera, then this is the lone pair on nitrogen, and this is the lone pair on nitrogen, and these lone pairs can be donated to any atom, right? These can be donated to any atoms. So such molecules are called the didentate ligand. And let us learn more word. For example, let us make them to donate the lone pair to this atom, and they have donated in this way. Right now they have donated. And while they have donated, you can notice one special thing, that this ligand is doubly joined to this central atom. So it is very difficult to remove this ligand from this central metal atom, right? While if this was just ammonia, right? Suppose I break the bond and I say that it was just the ammonia, like this upper ammonia, right? So this ammonia is just bonded through single bond, right? But the case is actually this one, right? So let us join it together one more time. And what conclusion we draw, that the ligands which join to the central atom through more than one bond, means two bonds at least, they make a cyclic ring or chain, cyclic chain, and that is why the complex of ethylene diammonia are more stable as compared to that of ammonia. And such type of ligands which are making this type of ring, right, if they make the ring, such type of ligands are known as chelating ligands, chelating, chelating ligands, right? So what are chelating ligands? Chelating ligands are those which can make the ring with central metal atom through coordinate bonds, alright. Now similarly we have tridentate. Now tridentate molecules, tridentate ligands are those which have 3 donating capacity. Similarly we have tetradentates. Tetradentates are those which have 4 donor sites. Pentadentates have 5 donor sites, and hexadentates have 6 donor sites. So let us go and draw the structure of one example of hexadentate, right? So this is the example of hexadentate. We have this compound, we have nitrogen, and along with nitrogen we have acetate ion, right? With all the nitrogens we have acetate ion associated, right? And now you can think of the stability. Now let me first of all point out the donor sites. First donor site is nitrogen, right? So we have 2 donor sites at nitrogen. Then this oxygen will be the 3rd donor site, this will be the 4th and 5th and 6th, right? So there are 6 donor sites with this molecule attached, and the name of this molecule is very simple. It is ethylene, because here is ethylene, you can see this is ethylene. And then diamine, right, diamine, this part, right, this part is similar to this, and the name was ethylene diamine. So here is ethylene diamine, and then tetra, because 4, tetraacetate, right, 1 2 3 4 tetraacetate, and the shortcut or the short symbol for this is EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetate with 4 negative ions, alright. So that was all about the denticity of the ligands. Let us go and learn the other category, and the next category is the ambient ligands. What are ambient ligands, right? Here is the example of ambient ligand. This is nitro group, NO2 group, right? And you can see that this nitrogen has lone pair to donate, and this oxygen also has lone pair to donate. Similarly we have thiocyanate. This is thiocyanate, right, SCN, and if you uh, donate through, if you think that the nitrogen is donor, then it is isothiocyanate, right? So we have different donor sites, and such molecules or such ligands are known as ambient ligands. Ambient ligand mean that they have two different donor sites, but one site will be donor only, not both, right? For example, if nitrogen has donated, then oxygen is not going to donate, right? And here is the model for this, and you can understand that if nitrogen is the donor site, right, then the bond will be through nitrogen, and similarly oxygen may also act as donor site, and any one of these oxygen can act as donor site, but only one at a time, right? So similarly, one more example, we have NC and CN, right? This is called the cyanide, right? Cyanide, and this is called isocyanide. So if the donor site is carbon, then it is called cyanide, and if the donor site is nitrogen, it is called isocyanide. If the donor site is sulfur, we call it thiocyanate, and otherwise it is called this cyanate, right? Cyanate ion, thiocyanate ion. And here is one more time repeated the chelating ligands. We have this example which we have already done through models, and this one we have also done, right? So that was all about the denticity of the ligands. Now let us learn about the spatial arrangement of the ligands with this central metal ion, right? So here is the idea. Here is the coordination polyhedra, right? And first, suppose this M represents the central metal ion and these L represent the ligands. So this one is the best example for this compound, and you can look through the camera, you will find that there is only 6 bonds, and each one of them is just perpendicular to other ones, right? So you can see that there is 4 ligands in a plane, first, second, third and fourth, right? And this ligand is on the top, you can see it is on the top, and there's one more ligand down, right? So if you join all these 4, 1, 2 to this corner, you will get a plane, right? You will get one plane, and if you join these 2, you will get another plane. Then similarly with these 2, you will get another plane, and there you can get one more plane, right? So you will get 4 plane. And similarly, if you join these 2 with the downward ligand, you will get 4 planes downward, and the picture which you get from these planes is this one, right? This picture you will get, right? So I think it is very clear to you that there are 4 ligands at these 4 corners, one on the top and the other on the down. This one is the down, right? So such structure is known as octahedral because there are 8 planes. Octa stands for 8 and hedral stands for plane. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn it downward. Again you get 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So such structures are called octahedral structures. So this one is the octahedral structure, right? And the next structure which we have studied is the tetrahedral structure, just like methane, and here is the model for that, right? And now again, when you are going to join the ligands to ligand 1, 2, 3, right, you will get one plane. Similarly, you can join here 1, 2, 3, another plane, 1, 2 and 3, one more plane, right? And these 3 ligands can also be joined which are on the page. You can see there because they are already on the page, so it is one of the plane. See, earlier I have to hold the octahedral, because if I am not going to hold, it will fall down, right? Right? So here I have not to hold because they are 3 points, they already lie in a plane, right? So there are 4 planes, and this type of geometry is called the tetrahedral. Here is the planar model for this one, right? You can observe that there are 1, 2, 3 planes, right? These 3 planes, and one plane is at the down, and this plane is at the down, right? So there are 4 planes. This is called tetrahedral. All right, so that was all about the tetrahedral, and now we have this example. This is the uh, square planar, right? Square planar model, in which you see that the central atom is bonded to 4 different ligands, right, in a planar mode. All right, now keep in mind, if you have 4 ligands, then there are 2 different geometries possible. One geometry is the tetrahedral, the other geometry is the square planar. There is no other geometry, right, except these 2. So now if we have set of 5 ligands, then this will be the picture, right? And this picture is similar to the octahedral, except we do not have this ligand. We have only 3 ligands in plane. So this is the trigonal bipyramidal. If you connect these 2 points to this one, these 2 points to this one, these 2 points to this, you get one plane, 3 plane on the top side, and similarly you will get the 3 planes on the downside also. So there will be total 6 planes, right? So basically trigonal bipyramidal is hexahedral, right? I am writing it hexahedral. This name is not very famous because this name is famous, trigonal bipyramidal, right? So keep in mind, this is trigonal bipyramidal. If you have 5 ligands, this is the most stable geometry, and there can one more possibility of the geometry, and that possibility is this one. This is called the square planar. Why? Because you can not square planar, square pyramidal, because you can notice that these 4 points, they are exactly lying on this paper, and when you join these points you get 4 different planes, right? 4 different triangles with their apex pointing to this ligand. So you will get this square pyramidal, right? And in this picture we have shown it very clearly. You can see that there are lines which are wedge lines. These are called the wedge lines, which are solid triangular lines. These lines, they point that the ligand is towards you, right? For example, in this case, if you are looking at this, then you have to look it in this way, it is in this way, right? So that these 2 points, they point towards your eyes, and these 2, they point away from you, right? And this is in the plane, right? So if you can see that this is my plane, right? So if this one is in the plane, this one is in plane, then these 2 are above plane and they are towards your eyes, right? So they are towards eyes and they are away from our eyes. So this picture which you see in my notebook in this way, you will get 3 different type of lines. This is called the solid line, right? Wedge line, and this is called the dash lines, we call it, and this is called the normal line. Normal line represent plane, wedge represents coming towards you out of the plane, out of plane. Dash line indicate that they are going away from you, right? So go for trigonal bipyramidal. Here is the trigonal bipyramidal. Now 1, 2, 3, that means I have to hold it like this, not like this. I have to hold it like this, right? So here is the plane, and you can just correlate it with this plane. Here is I have plane, and you can point that all these 3 atoms, they lie in one plane, right? They lie in one plane, and this bond is pointing towards you, and this bond is pointing away from you, right? So this one is the picture, right? And you can draw it in choice which you like. The angle at which you are looking at, you can draw it according to your wish. This is not the final and the only view of this molecule, but this is one of the view that we are suggesting to you, right? You can view the molecule like this, right, in which you are seeing that this is in the plane, this is in the plane, this is also in the plane, this is away from the plane, this is going up the plane, right? So it depends on you how you look at the molecules. And similarly for square planar is very simple, why I have drawn all the lines normal, you can understand it, right? So here is the square planar, and similarly tetrahedral, you can see you have to hold the two in a plane in this fashion, right? They are in a plane, you can see that they are in a plane. So so that means uh, yes, that means this one is going up the plane and this one is going away, right? So therefore this ligand which is represented by the dash line is this one, and this which is represented by the wedge line is this one, and these two are the in the plane ligands, right? And I hope you can understand for this also, right? This could be holded like this, right? 1 and 2, they are in one plane, they are coming towards your eyes and they are going away, right? These two are going away, right?